Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. Why do you see me everywhere? My office changes from time to time, and I enjoy it because I don't have a certain place I have to be or a certain time I usually have to commit to. It's pretty exciting. Well, I love reaching out to each and every one of you each and every week, the best that I can, and give you some inspiration or inspire you or motivate or maybe even depress you. Who knows? But the whole point is that we get a dialogue going, that we're talking about real important issues, that I share things that matter to me. And many of you reached out to me also and share what matters to you. I deeply, deeply appreciate that. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about loneliness. Yes, loneliness. It's not something I normally talk about. I do. I talk about depression. I do talk about post traumatic stress. I do talk about anxiety. And they're all kind of related. But loneliness came up from a message I heard today, a sermon from Pastor Moses at Pacific Christian Center in Santa Maria, where I go to church most of the time. So thank you, Moses. I appreciate this. Now, we often think we know when people are lonely. As a lot of people maybe become widows or senior or elderly, and there's no friends and family around, and they may keep themselves in a room all to themselves or to their house and don't get out very often. And we think about that, at least I do in my mind, that's someone who's lonely, someone depressed, someone who don't really have any friends. Well, how do we get to that point? Most of us grew up with mother, dad, cousins, hopefully some siblings, and obviously some classmates to get around or get along with. So why do sometime in our life we feel that loneliness or we get depressed or we don't have anyone to talk to? Did you know back before the pandemic, there's a questionnaire going out, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but they asked asked people, do you feel lonely today? Have you felt lonely the last week? Have you ever felt lonely? And more often than not, I think it's like 57% of people felt lonely just within the last week. And this was pre-pandemic. And obviously, during the pandemic, more of us became lonely because we were being told to go home and not talk to anyone, keep social distancing, not go out and associate with people at churches, at movies, even in our workplaces or school. So that loneliness got even greater. And now that we're coming out of the pandemic, we're having some interaction, relationship problems with people we were close to once upon a time, not just siblings, not just childhood friends, not just in the workplace, but even our real relationships with our significant others. Because this loneliness that some of us are feeling, and more often than not, the person next to us doesn't even know the pain, the hurt, the hangups that we're feeling inside. Why is that? Because I'll go out there and I'll smile and shake her, hey, good to see you, looking great today. How can I help you? But I feel loneliness on a regular basis, as well as so many of you. And many of us don't want to tell anyone about it because we want people to think that we got it going on. We want people to think that we have all our eggs where they're supposed to be. We want to think about people can come to us if they have any issues or problems because we have it all figured out. Do you even know our pastors and our counselors and even our doctors have counselors and doctors and pastors that they talk to on a regular basis to try to get their mindset? You see, the more that we give, the more that we associate with others, the more that we serve. We don't necessarily need to be served, but we have to vent, or we have to find a way to relax. We have to find something that's real important and dear to us so we can feed our own minds and our own bodies and our own spirit on a regular basis. We hear about that in, I think it's hurts, habits, and hangups. Hurts, habits, and hangups that many of us struggle with. Whether you have an addiction or not, that's not the reason, but sometimes we're trying to hide something from someone else, and therefore we're not really showing our whole selves. We have a wall up. And over time, we let that wall come down as trust begins, between different parties and different people. But every now and then we get hurt. And when we get hurt, sometimes that wall it goes up real fast. Instead of just a little bit of time and peeking through, we just want to block off the whole world for a while so we figure things out. Now, sometimes someone that is hurting us doesn't even know that they're hurting us or how it makes us feel inside. We all have a mind, we all have a brain, we all have feelings, we all have hurts. We've all felt a loss of someone that we really cared about. So loneliness happens even if you're in a party of 10, 20, 200 people. You can still have 200 people at a party or a big event, and a good chance 53, 57% of people there are still feeling lonely or have within that week, which means you go anywhere at your job and every other person has felt lonely at one point or another. Why is that? What are we going to do about it? Does it matter? Is it a bad thing? Well, it's a good question. Feeling lonely and feeling depressed and even anxious from time to time isn't necessarily bad. Stress is not necessarily bad, but we have to minimize how it affects our body. We have to minimize how it affects our relationships. We have to minimize how it messes with our brains from time to time. So that word lonely, and understand if you lost someone that you love and you feel a little sadness, and I know from my own experience when my mom had cancer and I was just a teenager, a lot of her good friends didn't come around like they did before. Some of them just didn't know what to say. Others were afraid of maybe they can catch cancer or didn't want to hear all the negative thought around them. And I can understand that. We don't want to have negativity around us. But those of us who are lonely or hurt or have a little anxious problems, we just want someone to talk to. And problem is we don't know who to talk to or who to reach out to or who we can even trust because that wall can go up so fast sometimes where it was, down here, even no wall at all. But that one thing can trigger us and it just goes up. And we become depressed or we become lonely. We don't know how to deal with it. And we talk about even in church today. We probably had 400 people in church today. And put your head down and close your eyes. You always ask for, okay, if you feel lonely, raise your hand. And the pastor always, okay, you and you and you and you. And there was quite a few people in there. I don't know who they were. My eyes were closed and I wasn't feeling lonely at that particular moment, but I do often. And I don't always know how to deal with it. I'm a counselor. But I do know the more that we're honest with ourselves, the more that we bring people in, the slower we are to put up that wall, the better off that we all are. Sure, Joseph Skoda, josephskoda.com, retired Air Force, commander of so many different veterans organizations, and a trainer and a speaker, and things like this. And I love doing it. But sometimes before a speech, even after, regardless of how many accolades or attaboys or handshakes that happen in between, I can still go into my lonely spot. And I will often, hey, I love being on stage. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But when I'm out of the spotlight, I hightail to the back and I'm in a corner and I'm often by myself because I don't know, I don't want people to see the real me. Or maybe I don't know who the real me is or something conflicting inside I haven't really learned to deal with very well. Please give me some of your ideas and some of the things that maybe tick you off or trigger something and you don't even know why. But the whole point is the majority of people in the United States, and I can guess pretty much worldwide, have felt lonely at one time or another. Kids don't call them like they used to, or only they call if they need something or money, especially. And neighbors don't come around. And as we get elderly, I'm not there yet. I'm working on my way to becoming seasoned, not senior, but seasoned. And I want someone to help me out with the trash or cut the grass from time to time, sure. But do I have too much pride to ask for help? Do you have too much pride to let someone know if they anger you or making you feel depressed? And sometimes that's your loved one, the one's closest to you, your significant other. We are shy to share all of us for one reason or another because we want people to think we got it going on. We want people to think we got the life figured out. Even if we don't, they know we don't, but we still want to keep our confidence up, especially our self-confidence in any situation. Whatever it is, find a way to get out there and share a little bit, not too much. Don't throw up on someone all of your problems or get someone in the corner and don't let them out. But if you just a little bit here and a little bit there, and remember when you're venting a little bit, you have to let the other person vent a little bit also. So be willing to accept that, but that builds a bond, that builds a relationship where you can count on someone. Now, years ago, I was in this business. So I actually, well, besides the business, how about weight loss? How about getting exercise? And I would text the guy, okay, you doing your push-ups today? He said, I am. Are you doing your run today? And every morning we would text each other back and forth. Accountability. Accountability part works in business, works in fitness, it works in getting your mindset for the day, the rest of the week. If we go back to that accountability, then we may feel a little bit of depression or sadness or loneliness from time to time, but we'll have someone to talk to, someone we trust, someone who's going to check up on us anyways on a regular basis. It may not be every day, but think about your mom or dad. They might seem like they got it going on, retired and golfing or playing cards or whatever it is. But I find out parents more often not just want to hear from their kids and not begging for money, just hear and see how their lives are going. And not just hear on the phone or text. Show up every now and then. I don't care where they live. Show up. Our parents deserve the best of us, even if we did not have the best childhood. We're humans, we're sinners, we make mistakes. Now, if you're the one that making those all the mistakes to your kids, you need to call them and apologize and try to make it right. It may be too late for them, but it's not too late to ask God for forgiveness so you're in the right place with Him. And then when you're in the right place with God, things kind of change inside of us that make us a little more right with those around us. So yes, we're all going to feel a little depression. We're all going to get anxious. We're all going to be depressed, as I just said, post-traumatic stress for a lot of us. But a lot of it starts with loneliness because we feel no one's listening to us. When we feel there's nothing to do or no one cares, all those other things come into play to cause a lot of negativity, stress, and friction in our lives. And we don't need that. God don't want to have us stressed and angry and not healthy all the time. He's listening to us. So continuously talk to God, find a friend, get a counselor, whatever it takes for someone to talk to. If you notice years have gone by and your old friends don't come around, it could be you. It could be you. It could be me. And obviously, you were at the bar a lot. All your friends are at the bar, and you stop drinking, and now you're not associated. That's okay. You can still go to the bar and have a soda or water and associate. But if you don't feel comfortable in that atmosphere no more, invite them over to a barbecue, chili, out to lunch from time to time, or you just need to find another hobby that you could meet new people to fill that void. Because when we're lonely, we have a void that's missing. We have something that's hurting us inside. We don't know how to act upon it. And more often than not, we don't know how to ask for help because we don't know we need help. Quite frankly, we don't know what to do next. Life's not perfect. This is the life that we have inside of us. I'm in the process of moving things from one house to another. And I have a picture here that's it's still in the ground. It's not hanging up. And different things. And I like to take my time in doing things. But my partner wants to, she's like, no, we got to get it done now. We got to get it done now. And that causes, I don't know, a little stress. And stress, we kind of go to our own corners and like, darn, he don't understand her. Or I don't get it. She don't understand. We go through that. And it's the communication and talking and sitting back and trying to see someone else's perspective. Like, oh, I get why you don't call me. Still angry, but I get why you didn't want to be around me. But let me tell you, everything's okay. I'm welcoming you back. I could really use someone to talk to. We need to learn how to go out there and ask for those things so we can get out of our own funk. So we have hope. There's hope. God gives us hope. There is a light at the end of the rainbow or whatever. You know what I mean? There's always something to look forward to. And we all know people who were in their own funks and their own depression. And some of them, God willing, most of them, we see get out of it. And we need to talk to those people, say, how did you overcome this? Or how did you get over that? It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. And quite frankly, I don't know if I can do any better than anyone else has. But with all that being said, just think about how we can best serve each other. Because when we're serving each other, when we're giving, it tends to come back. If we give with a happy heart, if we give a joyful soul, and we're open and receptive to things coming our way, life can really be good because God does have provisions for all of us. And I know some of us don't really have a roof over our heads or a steady income or a good family relations. And I feel for you. And I'm doing okay. And I had a pretty good upbringing, a really great upbringing. And I was one of the fortunate ones. But you still have to nurture those things. Trust me, my brothers would get on my nerves, and every month we wouldn't talk. But life is short, and they're still my brothers. Still my knuckleheaded brothers, as you can say. And we have to talk. We have to communicate. We have to share what's good and bad in our lives. Anyways, if you feel lonely, reach out to me. Tell me, what are you doing to deal with that? Any little depression or anxiety? Share with us some of your solutions, or private message me. Maybe we got something we can work on together. With all that being said, please follow me, josephscota.com, or find me on Social Media Shows Network or so many other places out there. I want to go aim high. Even though I did 21 years in the Air Force, I still feel a little lonely from time to time. Do whatever it takes to be a difference in someone else's life. Have a great day now. Bye. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day. Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Scota with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause, because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Scota, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Welcome to Social Media Shows. Have you been watching social media shows recently? Of course you have. We have been live streaming for 4 years across social media platforms. We produce over 70 shows with over 1,000 episodes. In the process, we've helped over 100 creators realize their dreams and start their own show. We give platforms to promote your business. If you are an artist, if you have an event, if you are entrepreneurs, or if you have a story. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on major social media platforms. And if you have a great idea of a show, join us. Social media shows can help you produce and live stream your own show. Let us help you make your dream become a reality.